What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Talk Punch. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, whether you're watching us here on YouTube or you're listening in at the audio version, make sure you come back here every Wednesday to see what we're talking about. Kind of like this week's topic, we are listing our top 3 favorite non-MCU superhero movies. I'm going to have to figure out a shorter way to put that in the title.
Oh, it's catchy, very catchy. And number 3 might shock you.
It might.
Number 1 may kill you and help you in the grave.
So I am Brody. We got Charlie. What's up, Charlie?
Hello.
And we got Tudong.
Hey.
All right. So, how did you guys build these lists? So we're doing non-MCU. So anything within the Marvel Disney MCU post Iron Man stuff. So was there any criteria that you went with, or were you just like, I just like these movies?
Dylan?
Well, I've got to admit, I let my sentimentality guide me on these. These ones are ones I've seen a whole bunch, and I really love for different details. Some of them like I've loved for many years, and just the ones that kind of spoke to me the most, I guess you could say. I don't know. What about you, Charlie? What do you think?
I originally put together a list of movies that were based on graphic novels and or comics that were not superhero films, but rather just interesting or good films that were based on graphic novels and such, which apparently was not the assignment. So I built my list a second time out of hero material. I actually had a bunch of, I made a long list, as I often do, of like just my favorite things that fit into whatever category we're doing. So even when I was doing my superhero list, I did just jot down some fun ones that I thought, I'd love to revisit this movie as a topic at some point on the show. So it worked out. So I got
Nice.
I think a nice little list here of some now this is important, not necessarily non-Marvel, but non-MCU specific. You want to explain to people, Brody, explain what MCU is to the people who may not know, briefly, because everyone does.
Well, for our audience, they probably know. But as I said, it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Marvel Disney post Iron Man, in that world, the whole Infinity Saga, and now all this new stuff. So everything that's inside there. That doesn't exclude Marvel. So X-Men, Sam Raimi Spider-Man, the Mark Webb Spider-Man movies.
For now.
Those can be in the list because they are not MCU.
Not yet.
Not yet. All right, and speaking of Charlie's list of graphic novels, we are going to have that list at some point of top 3 non-superhero comic book movies. So that'll be a good one. So make sure you're checking back. Do that subscribe stuff so that you see that when it pops up. All right, let us get right into it. You guys ready?
Oh yeah.
All right. Tudong, you are up with your number 3.
Number 3 may shock you, but it is actually
shocked.
The Dark Knight. It's The Dark Knight. You know what? I love that movie. I think it's fantastic. You got Christopher Nolan taking a camera way back so we can see some fight choreography. You've got, Christian Bale's absolutely just sometimes ridiculous portrayal as Bruce Wayne and Batman. Heath Ledger's Joker, sadly, Maggie Gyllenhaal. But hey, you know what? I loved it. Just the one thing that speaks to me the most is when Batman, Adam West could have delivered this line where he's like, towards the end, he's like, yeah, it's not that simple. With the Joker, it never is. I was just like, Adam West could have said that. So it brought me back to the 60s version of Batman, and then this one. So
I'm surprised this is so low on your list.
I went sentimental.
What's up, Dylan? Why are you a hater?
Man,
I'm not a hater. It's just if I'm going to be honest, this is the newest movie on the list. These other movies, I saw, I've spent a lot more time with. So that's the only reason why I went with in order of the ones that I've seen them, the newest.
Oh, I'm really curious what your number 2 is.
I think you understand.
I think I know what your number 1 is, but I figured that this would be your number 2. So we will see. All right.
I think that it'll shock you, bro. It'll shock.
I will be shocked. All right. Speaking of being shocked, my number 3. I have Kick-Ass. Now, this movie, I read the books. Actually wasn't like super big into the books, but I really liked the movie. So I really like Matthew Vaughn. He hits this place movie-wise where his movies are so out there and ridiculous that it just makes me happy. And so I saw this and I really liked this movie. I really liked Nicolas Cage in this movie. Like the scene where he's tied up in the chair and like yelling instructions to Hit Girl. I love that whole sequence. And so I didn't care for the second one. I actually I saw it and I was like, I don't think I ever need to see that again. But this one, really like this one. So this is my number 3, Kick-Ass.
This was on my short list.
Really?
I didn't end up putting it on, but yeah, I had this on the list for like 2 days before I swapped it out for something else. My number 3 was like a revolving door of different movies, and I couldn't decide which one I wanted to pop on there. And then in the end, I asked my wife, which one would you want to hear the guys talk about? And so she so technically this is her choice at number 3 for me.
Nice.
So.
Okay.
Number 3 is a little Deadpool action.
Now, is this the first one or second one?
I found this on the web.
Thank you, Siri. Always chiming in, always horning in on our podcast. Siri is. This is the first one.
Okay.
The second one was okay. I liked the first one better. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I'm not sure. There are movies where an actor does a really great job, and it kind of feels like the actor and the character, there's this synergy there that's just magical. But you take a step back and you think, you know what? If I'd never seen this actor in this role, the script was good enough, or there was enough of a part here that another really great or talented actor probably could have come in and done a really great job. But then there are roles, and there are actors, and they're so interwoven together perfectly that it's impossible to imagine anyone doing this role better than Ryan Reynolds.
Sure.
And after the disaster that was the first appearance of Deadpool by Ryan Reynolds in the X-Men film, because Brian, I remember having a conversation with you about how excited we were. Talk about perfect casting. Blade 3 was a disaster of a film, but you watch Ryan Reynolds in that and you think, okay, well, he's just playing Deadpool in this movie obnoxiously over a terrible script with like a really non-cohesive plot. But this movie was really fun, and the action sequences were fantastic, obviously, and it was laugh out loud funny at times, and still had some heart in there. There were some moments where I was tearing up a little bit. Good cast. I don't know. Anyway, I really enjoyed this. You guys hated Deadpool, though, so defend yourselves.
I didn't hate it. I just don't know if it's something that I revisit that often.
Really?
Oh, not like Kick-Ass that you watch like once a week, once a month.
No, come on.
I thought that was a part of the MCU.
Deadpool?
No, this is not part of the MCU.
No, not
Although
yet.
he will be part of the
Not
MCU
yet.
in the future.
I just kind of considered that. I didn't even think. I went by Deadpool and I was like, that's part of the MCU. I don't know why I didn't. I would have put that actually, but
No,
maybe, I don't know.
This is part of the X-Men, the Fox X-Men verse.
Yeah, no, I know.
So
I know all of it. I'm just
see, that's encouraging. I know you, Brody. You bought me my first Deadpool comic.
I did.
It was fantastic, and I bought several other collections of Deadpool comics after. If you've watched any of our episodes, you may pick up on the fact that I am a bit of a sarcastic human being who can be a little sassy at times, and so that's my kind of superhero. Give me some Spider-Man, give me some Deadpool, give me some sarcasm and some wisecracking. But I do like the head explosions as well.
And I love Ryan Reynolds. He's one of my favorites. I remember.
Oh yeah.
I remember
Sure,
when I went to see The Proposal. My wife and I went to see The Proposal in the theaters, and it was a bunch of women. And I turned to my wife. I said, "I bet I have the biggest crush on Ryan Reynolds than anybody in this theater." And she said, "I bet you're right." So I like it. I like this movie. I like it. It's
you heard it here first. Brody liked The Proposal better than Deadpool.
Oh,
all right,
come
what was your number
on.
2?
All right. I like the movie. Don't watch it all the time. All right, Two Dog, you're number 2.
Number 2. Number 2 is another sentimental one. Is The Crow.
What's going on here?
What?
How is this not your number 1?
You'll understand when you see it. Like they go in order in the order I've watched them, and so number 1 is going to be the one I've seen, the earliest, the most, or whatever it is. But The Crow is a special one because I was actually following Brandon Lee's career before he passed away. Big fan of his dad, Bruce Lee, and it's just one of those things again. Like you're in high school, and Charlie understands. He was a goth when he was in high school, painting his nails black and his hair, and all that stuff.
True.
But yeah, no, I loved the performance. I loved the whole thing, and yeah, so that's why. I mean, it's not a Marvel movie, right? That wasn't a part of the Marvel universe. It's Dark Horse, right?
I believe so.
This is long before the MCU.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
This is a great.
So when I met Dylan for the first time in college, before I just knew who he was, we were in a theater class together. And he would come to just wearing these tight white t-shirts showing off his muscular frame, tucked into jeans, and he had this long hair that he would either wear in a ponytail or that he would have just like somehow wet. It was 8 a.m.
Somehow wet.
So maybe it was from a shower, but he would just come to class and just wet, and he would just lean his head forward, I swear I saw him a couple times out in the hall. Like there's a water fountain, he's just like squirting water on his hands and just whipping it. Had a water bottle in class, and he's dunking parts of his hair just so we can look down and then like look up through wet bangs and so before I even had said one word to him, I was like, this guy over here thinks he's the Crow. This guy thinks he's the Crow.
It would get onto the white shirt also, so in your own wet t-shirt contest, nobody suspects.
I mean, he did
there
also
was NERPs on display.
He did also walking around saying it's not a good day to be a bad guy.
That's true. I did
he whispered
say
that into my ear. First thing he ever said to me. Creeped me out.
This is a great one. I thought this was going to be your number 1, Tudong.
I walked up and I was like, not a good day to be bad.
Can't rain all the time.
Wait, who are you?
Can't rain all the time.
We have a class together?
Oh, man. All right. My number 2 is Spider-Man 2.
Nice.
Now, this movie, I saw this movie 5 times in one day in the theaters. I saw it at the midnight showing and then every showing the next day. I just stayed at the movie theater. I took the day off work. It was opening day, and I saw it 5 times in one day at the theaters. This movie is great.
That's when Joe was working as the manager of that theater, isn't that right?
Yeah. Yeah, this, and like I just showed my kids this a few months ago, and this is still such a fun movie. Like it's got like the cheesy parts. It's way more Sam Raimi-esque than the first one. The whole scene with Doc Ock in the operating room with the claws coming at people and the screams and the grabbing of chainsaws even. I laugh out loud every time that scene happens. And Alfred Molina is fantastic. I'm so excited that he is coming back as Dr. Octopus. Yeah, this one holds up. I love it. Could watch it anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Can't rain.
My number 2 may shock you to find out that my number 2 is Hellboy 2, The Golden Army.
The second one over the first one, huh?
Yes. I liked the first one, but I thought the second one was great. And I thought, man, the third one is going to be even better. And then they never made it. And there was even a Twitter campaign, I think just a few years ago, where they're sitting there trying to raise awareness and attention and get it trending and come on, get Guillermo del Toro was like, let's do one more of these.
Yeah.
And Ron Perlman, and they had to sit down to discuss it and then decided not to do it. Why? And then we got this stupid reboot thing that happened and
it's just, that reboot was rough.
What could have been? I don't know if you're out there and you haven't seen this. It's definitely worth watching. I think the Hellboy sequel. This one got, I think, this was the same year as The Dark Knight, right?
Was it?
And so it got absolutely buried by that, and so that was just 2008. So The Dark Knight just kind of like came out and
Iron Man
stole
also
all
Iron
of Hellboy's thunder.
Iron Man too. Yeah.
Yeah, just different months. So like, they were Hellboy and Dark Knight were out at the same time, and it just kind of crushed it.
Oh.
Yeah, just kind of swallowed it up. And The Dark Knight was such a cultural phenomenon at the time. It just didn't leave a lot of room, a lot of oxygen, which is a shame because this is a really, really underrated film. Ron Perlman is really great in the role, and I just Guillermo del Toro's stuff is always so fast, like visually fascinating to watch.
Absolutely.
So I think it's really fun, and I would have loved to have seen what they could have done in the third, but good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, I really liked this one. I really like the elves, like all the design. But that's most all of Guillermo del Toro's designs are super cool.
Cool stuff, man.
Yeah, the reboot of this was rough. Tudong, did you see the reboot?
I did not. I just did not.
Charlie, did you see the reboot?
No, I couldn't. I watched a trailer for it. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I couldn't do it.
I watched it.
Did you watch it?
I did. Yeah, I watched it, and I was kind of like, they were pushing hard for that R, and it just got, I don't know. It was just kind of a messy film. Like the plot was a mess, and I don't know. Yeah, I wasn't a fan. All right, number ones. We are flying right through this, guys.
All right. Number one.
Right.
My number one.
Fascinating.
It came out the earliest from the list, which is how I went chronologically, and that is Superman 2. I remember.
I guess I should have known this.
I mean, I think this is one of the first movies, if a movie at all, that I've watched in the movie theaters. I think this one or the re-release of Empire Strikes Back. I don't know.
Tudong.
But I remember watching this, and I remember just absolutely loving the entire just world. And it was weird because it wasn't the Richard Donner cut. It had some jokes in there and all that, but come on, kneel before Zod. I cannot stand the Zod. That new Zod was just broke my heart. It's like he didn't even. For some reason he just took out his dentures and decided, "Fuck, how is it?" Instead of "Son of Jor-El, kneel before Zod." You got Clark Kent, just a bumbling idiot, still getting with Lois though somehow. Yeah, no, this brings me back to way early childhood, and absolutely, I watch it still, and it still shoots me right back. Then I see Superman 4, and I'm just like, what is that?
Now, as for your number one, is it the theatrical cut or is it the Donner cut? That's
I'm going to go ahead and say I actually have seen both, and it's one of those things where one of them I'm like, I totally see how this is, and I understand when they say improvement, but sentimentally, the theatrical cut as well. I mean, like I grew up on it. I'll throw it in and I'll still watch it sometimes, and like I said, it still brings me back. The Richard Donner cut. It's almost like it's like another chapter of it that you just never thought you were going to get. So I mean, like either one, I'm good for it. I like it. Christopher Reeve's fantastic, best Superman.
The cellophane S that he throws, all the extra powers that they gave Superman in this movie.
Somehow he was able to teleport, and then there was like 5 of them. I was just like,
is this the one where he flies around the planet and reverses time?
In the Donner cut, he does. Because he does that.
Is that the single worst decision that anyone's ever put in a? I mean, talk about like the lowest stakes from now on. Not the lowest stakes, but the lowest possible stakes, where he could just sit there and be like, "Well, I didn't like that outcome. I'll be right back. Let me just fly fast enough to reverse time here." Terrible.
Hey, a lot of it.
Gene Hackman, by the way, like 91 years old and still awesome.
Yeah. Charlie, if you watch Superman the Motion Picture, and then immediately after watch Superman 2 the Donner cut, you'll get the reversal of time in both movies.
They actually do intercut. That's right. Yeah. Hey, and you know what? In the Richard Donner cut, you get some more Marlon Brando in there, huh? Now
true.
you're really talking. Yeah, that's
All right.
my
I do like Marlon Brando. I was out. I'm back in.
There you
nice.
go. All right. Okay, my number one should be really obvious. The Dark Knight. Oh man. How many times have I seen this movie? I don't know. I don't even know if I can count at this point. This movie. I showed my kids this movie. This is probably like the most intense movie I've ever shown my kids. You know,
Besides RoboCop? Really?
they've never seen RoboCop. That's just that's Charlie ribbing you. No. No.
For your pleasure, brother.
I appreciate it.
But this movie, man, I love this movie. I love Christian Bale's Batman. I love Christopher Nolan and everything that he does. I love the Joker in this. I still like. There's so much to this movie. The build-up to this movie was the greatest build-up I've ever had for any movie that I've ever seen in my whole life. I was a part of like this campaign where they were sending me like Harvey Dent election materials. I have like buttons. I have newspapers that they were sending me. I have like all this stuff. I was so excited to see this, and it paid off like so much, and I still love it. It's, oh my gosh, this is so good. This is my ultimate comic book superhero movie. I won't put this as the superhero one or the non-superhero one because it's a superhero one, but
it's a hero one.
It's a hero one. the hero that we deserve. So yeah, this one I love it.
How does that line go? The one that Gotham needs but doesn't deserve, or deserves but doesn't want. What's the line?
He's the hero that we need, but not the one we deserve. Right? Oh man, did I just mess that up on my favorite?
I mean, it's a little bit embarrassing.
Gosh,
sorry to put you on the spot.
Embarrassing.
Bro.
What?
How about a magic trick?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Are you looking it up? The hero we deserve.
Yeah.
Dark Knight. Not what we need now. I'll tell you this. You know, Gary Oldman at the very end, when he's making him decide, that was unbelievable acting. You see, and the score is slowly building up right there. He looks like he is about to watch his kids get killed. Unbelievable, I've got to say. He's very underrated in that role, and I thought he was amazing in that last scene.
All right. He's the hero Gotham deserves, but not the one it needs right now. So we'll hunt him
but not
because
needs.
he can take it. Because he's not our hero. He's a silent guardian. A watchful protector. And that is a perfect Gary Oldman. Good. That is beat for beat.
So
that's
good.
He's the hero we
even Charlie saying it. Even Charlie saying it in that voice, I'm like, oh, it's so good.
Oh, you mean a perfect Gary Oldman voice?
Your perfect Gary Oldman voice.
That's like our boy looks good on the tube. And then Marioni says, "You sure you want to embarrass me in front of my friends, Lieutenant?" And Gordon says, "Don't worry, they're coming too." Come on, that's like spot on.
Oh man,
it's like if you close your eyes, it's like Gary Oldman's here.
Play as Gary Oldman as Commissioner Gordon. Hey, come on over here.
Don't worry about it. Come on with me.
The suit. It's the Joker over here.
He's not the hero we need right now, right? Forget about it.
Oh,
get him out of here. We're gonna hunt him because he can take it.
He can take it over here.
Don't worry, he's gonna be rising soon. He rises. Forget about it.
Just hearing those lines makes me want to go watch it. And then at some point we could talk about The Dark Knight Rises, which for that one I went media blackout and had nothing going into it, and it kind of a bummer.
And you didn't like it as much.
I didn't like it as much
because it didn't even make your top 3.
It didn't. All right. Well, that's my number one. I love this movie. I love it. All right, Charlie, your number one. What is Charlie's? Dylan, do you know Charlie's number one? What do you think it is? What's a guess?
Blade.
Not a bad guess. Maybe. Definitely not Blade Trinity, I'll tell you that much.
Maybe the first Spider-Man.
Oh boy.
Oh, maybe the second Blade. Maybe Blade 2, Guillermo del Toro.
Maybe Blade 2. Oh, there you go. It's his Guillermo del Toro. Oh, I should have known this. I knew this. Doggone it.
Into the SpiderVerse. Into the SpiderVerse.
I totally forgot about this one.
This movie. Love it, love it, love it. And I know it's kind of a modern day, Marvel vehicle, but not MCU stuff here, not connected at least not yet. Who knows? And now after the animated what ifs, who knows what they're going to be doing with all these properties. And there's going to be an MCU Blade. There's going to be an MCU Deadpool. Maybe there'll be a Miles Morales MCU in the not too distant future.
I'm sure there will be.
Man, this movie just got me excited, man.
Get Nicolas Cage as Noir Spider-Man.
This should have been my number 3. I made a mistake.
Nicky Cage is either the best worst actor or the worst best actor, depending on what movie you're watching him. Like if you were ranking actors, he's in this weird middle zone where he just every now and then he just hits something so perfectly. You're just like, oh God, he's great. I mean, he's not, and then he comes out with something else, and you're like, oh, he's the worst. If anyone's ever seen the show Community, and they're and Abed tries to figure out if Nicolas Cage is good or bad, and he goes like insane. Great episode. There is no right answer when it comes to the puzzle of Nicolas Cage. He is an enigma, but every now and then, whether it's in Kick-Ass or this, he delivers some lines in a way that only he can. Anyway, maybe I'll do my Nick Cage if we have time at the end. I'll do some Nick Cage for you.
Ooh, maybe we'll do a top 3 favorite Nick Cage movies one time.
Oh,
now you're talking. Okay. Now you're talking. If I were to let you suck my tongue, to be grateful, ha ha. Peach.
You gotta hit the pause, man. If I were to let you suck on my tongue, would you be grateful?
Wow,
that's a perfect Nick Cage.
It's a little Jim Carrey there. I don't know.
That's a spot on Nick Cage. Well, Nick Cage is he saw Jim Carrey doing some acting and was like, what if I did that, but also while he was shooting up some kind of like heroin or something, just like a high version of Jim Carrey. My face off, and if you haven't seen the edited footage of Wicker Man, just like a short condensed Nick Cage highlight reel of Wicker Man, do yourself a favor and pop on YouTube after you finish watching this, and just treat yourself to some Nick Cage Wicker Man highlights. It will change your life. But
so
anyway, back to Spider-Man.
So SpiderVerse.
SpiderVerse.
It has been a long time since I've seen a movie that made me walk out of the theaters and then just I was pumped with energy, man. I saw this with my kids. We walked outside the theater. We're jumping on stuff. We're leaping off of it. We're all Spider-Man. We're all just kind of. I'm climbing walls. I'm on top of the movie theater. I'm swinging webs. I was just so excited, and it was such a neat. This is one of the first movies that I saw in theaters with my kids that we were all just jazzed after. I'm taking them to things for them that I thought this was great. The first movie was Finding Dory. It's good. It's nice. It's a nice little film. But we walked out of this and we were all just like, whoa, that was awesome. And it's like a really neat memory attached to that as well. It's something that we share when we see this pop up on a streaming service. We watch it. There's an emotional connection to the film as well as it just being a fantastic movie. So this is one that I intend to grow old with and revisit frequently. Just a super creative movie. The visuals are fantastic. The voice acting is fantastic. I feel like it hits every beat really well, and just a fantastic family friendly fun film. And plus, I had to have a red. So I got my Hellboy, my Deadpool, my Spider-Man. So I got 3 kind of red jackassian superheroes on my list, and so the trifecta is complete.
There you go. Yeah, this should have been my number 3. I'm changing my list right now. Insert into number 3.
I wanted to put Spider-Man 2 on my list too, but I was like, I don't want to have 2 Spider-Man movies on my list, so I opted for.
No, this is a good choice. I agree with this choice. Yeah, this movie, man, I cannot wait until the sequel comes out for this. Oh my gosh. It needs to come out faster.
Have you played the video game yet?
Which video game?
The Miles Morales Spider-Man PlayStation game?
No,
Or have you played any of the Spider-Man PlayStation games?
Yeah, I played the Spider-Man one. I played the Spider-Man one, but not the Miles one.
Okay.
I don't have the PS5 yet.
You can play it on the PS4.
Can you play it on PS4? Oh, I thought it was just
You
PS5.
play on PS4?
Oh, okay.
Don't be like that, bro.
Sorry.
How are we doing on time, B? Do we got a wrap, or do we got time to kick another subject out here real quick?
We should probably wrap it. We're at a half hour.
Okay. All right.
So.
Well, and then I'll kick it to you then as the audience. I saw the first Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and I did not see the second one because I couldn't get into it. But I know there's a generation of people out there that love the Garfield Spider-Man. So if that's you, if you're a Garfield Spider-Man guy or gal, hit me up. Let me know in the comments. Am I missing out by not seeing those? Or give me some support. Let me know that it's okay that I haven't seen the second one and I never ever need to revisit it.
It's okay. I'm telling you, I saw it.
Okay. All right.
I wasn't as much a fan of that one. I didn't mind Amazing Spider-Man, but yeah, the second one sort of fell flat for me.
Okay. All right. Another topic for another time.
There we go.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us here. I hope you guys had some fun. And if you did, feel free to click here below for some more content just like this. We always have a blast talking with each other, and we hope you are entertained as well. I buy nothing else than Dylan's shirts. They're always a treat. So you can also like and subscribe near Brody and his beautiful beard, by no coincidence. Dylan, what do you think? Was that a wig flipping episode or no?
That's a wig flipping episode. I liked it. There we are.
All right. Hey, you'll flip your wig. Thank you. Tune in next time for a little TTP.
Bye.